So it's about 9:30 Saturday morning. Just got back to North Kilworth, having a look at the paint on the roof. Looks pretty good. Or at least it's holding the water off well. So the water's pooling and not soaking in. So yeah, we'll get up and mop this dry and we'll get up and have a good look at it later. Also today I've brought a couple more toys with me. I got a 16 port 12 volt breaker set with illuminated switches. Got this off Control Electrical on eBay. Really good. I'm a little bit annoyed that all the legends are kind of screen printed on, but you do get a set of stickers with it to go over it. I mean, some of these aren't going to be needed. I mean, who's using wipers? What the hell? But it's also got a 20-point bus bar to bring everything back, because obviously the 12 volt control panels only have a positive connection. Also got a whole bunch more 1mm wire for bits and pieces around the boat if and when I need it. A couple of fixings. And yeah, so we'll have a play with that today. Also found a fire. I've got the fire at home. I've got a Firefox 8 clean burn, 8 kilowatt fire, 90 kilos. So one of the jobs to do this weekend is put all the furniture and the bed back at the other end. I mean, I know I want to start lining, but I want to start doing some prep for getting the fire in. So I need to remove some of the ballast from down here and check out some of the... also I've been sizing up the shower tray and the toilet cubicle. So I want to centre the toilet from the window and expand out the shower room and find out the back wall and figure out exactly where the fire's going, so I can work out where the hole in the roof's going for the chimney, which should be somewhere in the middle of this panel, this blank panel behind the window, somewhere about here, I think. So yeah, we'll get on that at some point today as well. But yeah, it's starting to get cold. Got the fan heater on, wet air moving around, so we'll look for some condensation on the windows. It doesn't really happen on the windows because they're double glazed and this is rubber protected, but this edge all the way around is where it's connected to the frame on the outside of the boat. So this gets cold and this is where the condensation sits. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, onwards and upwards. So I've kind of made a bit of a mess. There's a little bit of sawdust in the air. So yeah, I made a bit of a mess. Been playing around with a whole bunch of stuff, got all the tools out. But I made a little short-term house thingy for the 12 volt switchboard, and then the giant bus bar at the back houses the battery and a battery charger underneath. It's nice and super sturdy. I'm really happy with it. It's yeah, it's quite good fun having this all set up. Got the illuminated switch panel. I mean, all of these work. They've obviously just got no load on. I've only got one load on, and that's the light circuit down the far end. The LED lights are put in the ceiling. But yeah, that's cool. That's been a pretty good fun morning actually, just throwing that together out of the scrap wood that Terry gave me last summer. So thank you again very much, Terry. That's been fantastic. Lots of practice building some random bits of cabinetry and stuff. So yeah, they're really happy with that. Thanks a lot. And it's on this load, and the negative comes through the bus bar from the battery, through all of that into the bus bar, out of the bus bar into this, and then everything else is, all the positives come off these 6.8mm connectors. It's all got breakers in the back. So yeah, it's quite a fun bit of kit. I do need to get a master on off switch for it. Haven't completely forgot that at the minute, so I'll just disconnect it from the battery when I leave. But yeah, just threw together the cabinet just to house it, just to see how it is. Then all the negatives obviously come back into the negative bus bar. I've got like a 20 pin giant thingy. Obviously this is not how it's going to be in the end. I just wanted to have a go at mocking it up. So yeah, really happy with that. Loads of fun. Yeah, with all the fun of random building stuff out of scrap, which I absolutely love, and it's great practice for building random furniture and carcasses later. I want to map out my bathroom this weekend while I'm here. I've been to different places, taken some measurements of showers, measurements of toilet cubicles, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's awesome, but that's my day done. So I want to map out the bathroom, sort out where the bulkhead's going to be, and then remove some ballast from behind the wall for the fire. The fire's 90 kilos, and that's going to go relatively in the middle. I'll show you more as that as I tape it all out, get all this cleaned up and tape everything down and mark everything out. So it's just late Sunday morning. Rare reprieve from the dogs and the power tools, so all we hear now is the rustling of the breeze from the trees. Thought we'd come and have a look at this. It's all gone off okay, nice and hard. A little bit cloudy in spots where it might have been a little bit late in the day to paint, but it all looks great. So that's good to know. It's one thing to not worry about. It's all doing fine. All these bits where I've got a bit thicker, yeah, no, it's all rock hard. Yeah, I'm quite happy to leave that over the winter. Cool, on to stuff inside, I think. One thing to do before I line the boat is work out where I'm going to put the nav lights, and that means drilling the side of the boat and sticking them on with some silicone and screwing them into place, putting some taps into the side of the boat. So I'm just wondering if there's any legality to where it should be. I mean, I think from this angle you can see the bend at the front, so I want to get it because kind of like maybe here-ish. Let's leave a mark there. Just talking to one of the other residents of the yard, and he was saying you don't want them too far forward because you have a tendency to clip them on stuff going around the corners. Now in some of the other boats they have them after the first window, so now I'm not unsure. I mean, I was going to put them about there where the corner of that shadow is, maybe a bit higher, but now I'm thinking of bringing them back here somewhere about there. So I don't know, we'll have to make a decision because they're kind of permanent. But I guess it's a good idea not to have them right at the front. So yeah, we'll figure that out. Okay, so this is where I'm at with my bathroom layout. Let's have a look at this. We have a toilet basically in a cubicle. We have a shower tray, 760 by 760. We have these two doors that sit into a jamb here. And we have a countertop with a sink under the window. So you might think it's got a bit of a weird shape, but I'll show you what that's about. So the idea with this bathroom is that I'm trying to use as little space as possible to get everything in, but also I wanted the utilities to be used privately while there's other people on the boat without clogging everything up. So with this layout, the shower can be used individually, the toilet can be used individually, and you've still got access through. Or if you want the entire bathroom to, I mean, I don't know how much space you'll have with this wall here, but the idea is this represents a door and this represents a door, and they're both sat into a jamb here. And to get into the toilet, you can open this door to there, and the shower you can open on that pivot to there. So there'll be a hinge on this inside edge and a hinge on this inside edge, and the door mechanism will fit into a jamb on that wall and on here, and this one will fit into a jamb here and there. So then that gives you, I want to say an open plan bathroom, but it's really a horseshoe bathroom. So from in the shower you've still got no access to the toilet, but you can come out of the shower, and then here is the workbench, you know, the countertop in the bathroom with a sink in it. So you've got the window in the toilet being a guy, you know, also for ventilation. And you come out, and then I'm going to put a sink here with a mirror, and probably a towel rail, heated towel rail underneath the counter here opposite the shower, which also acts as your expansion tank for your hot water system and your radiators. So I think this is cool. It means, you know, these doors, I mean, and you close this off, I'm going to have a fire behind this door here, this wall here as well, as close into the middle as I can. Behind the door, because it's a 55 centimetre fire, so I'm going to mark that out, the space that'll be in, and then do a hearth around that. But these are the next things to do after we've lined it, is put this wall in so I can put a fire in and start looking at putting a shower in. And then obviously we'll see about taking some of the ballast out underneath, maybe even taking the floor out and lowering the shower tray to get a full door. Now this gap here is so that when this door's shut, you've still got space on the inside of the door to hang a towel or your bathrobe or bits like that, or anything, you know, extra racking for inside the shower. So I don't know, tell me what you think. I don't know if this is going to be big enough for a toilet. I don't know if this is bit here is going to be tall enough for a shower. Maybe we bring the shower tray forward all the way to the edge, and maybe we push wide you know, an extra ½ foot into this utility space that I'm thinking. But I don't know, this is the general idea for the layout. So, you know, the idea, you know, someone could be in the shower and you can still walk through. Someone could be in a toilet and you can still walk through. Or if you know, I mean, it's only 2 foot wide between the countertop and this wall. So I don't know how it's going to be in the morning doing your teeth if you've got, you know, you can lean against the wall. But I don't know, we'll see how that gets on, I think. But that's the general, that is the general plan so far. So now I've been stood looking at this for a while. I'm starting to think of following the narrowboat that James built's idea of bringing, and I'll bring the shower tray all the way forward and put a box in the back for the water pump and things like that, and to get to the shower. Because like in this configuration, there's no way to get to the water pump for the shower. There's no way to get to the pipes for the shower. So instead of having western doors, you know, the like saloon doors, like they open like a saloon door, the 2 doors are open on the side hinge. I'm thinking of putting a bifold door in and bringing the shower tray forward the last 4 inches, building a box in the back, and then tiling the back wall up, just kind of like James did. So I think that's the best way. I think that's the best way to get to the water pump. So I was thinking, if I bring the shower tray forward and put a solid wall in the back, all the way up, then it's going to be impossible. I'm going to have to try and get into it from either around the fireplace here, down this gap down the side, or from inside the toilet cubicle over the toilet down a 4-inch gap down the back. So that's not really going to be feasible, I don't think. So I think James is really onto something. You put a regular shower tray and you fill that back up with a box to put your water pump in, and for your pipe work. So I think that's going to be a way. So I'm just going to remark this up to a different configuration. I'll tell you something, this little box that I put up yesterday so I can set up and test all the components as I get them and test the wiring. It's turned out to be a good little spot to have lunch. Yeah, nice in the sun. Okay, so as well as now mocking up the bathroom on the floor, I've also put into place where I envision the stove going in a minute. So we've got a nice air gap at the back with a back wall of calcium silicate and cement board going all the way around. Then according to the BSS, we've got 150mm gap from the wall either side, 225 at the front, and at least 45mm at the back. I've given it 50mm, 5 centimeters. The stove itself is 550 by 330mm. It's quite a big one. It's an 8 kilowatt stove. And then the hearth has got to project 225 out, or it's got to have a giant lip. So this is the envisioned size and position of the fire in the boat. Now, with it taking up all the corners, I kind of had it in my head in the middle, or closer to the middle. So maybe if we have a big giant lip on the edge of this hearth and put it in, maybe we can pull the fire more towards the middle. But with it being that far over to the side, I might as well put it diagonally at this point. So I wish I had all these things as little models as well as actually real size, full size models like I did with the cardboard cutouts. But yeah, so maybe trim this corner off, you know, round the corner off on this angle. Maybe continue a shelf on into this room with that angle from the worktop of the bathroom. But yeah, these bits, you know, I've had in my head for a while and starting to see them on the floor. Then I'll mock up some bits for everything, like I did. I mean, I'm happy with the kitchen layout and the bedroom layout. So, yeah, but that's only after mocking up the furniture and mocking up the kitchen worktop and putting the bed in place and stuff. I've got used to the feel of the space. So, yeah, so next thing is to mock up some of these, well as lining as well and everything like that. So, but yeah, it's nice to actually have them full size, real life. But yeah, we'll start looking at getting bits for this, I guess. Something else to think about with this plan as well is these are all just projections straight up from the edge of the floor. So that countertop can probably be pushed back about 3 inches when it's higher up in place, with the notches on the edges may not be so pronounced. But this is just the general idea at the minute. So this is why we do things like mocking them up, so we can just work out these niggly little bits before we spend loads of money and actually build the whole thing and realise it doesn't work. So, but this is, yeah, I quite like this as a plan. I've been going over it in my head. But yeah, I really quite like it actually. I think, you know, as the countertop get raised higher a little bit, it will get pushed back a bit. So it'll give you a bit more space in this gangway. Yeah, you know, just the shower is the shower size. That's the size of the cubicle. The size of the shower tray, so you don't need to worry. That's exactly the same size as the one I've got at home, so I don't need to worry about that so much. So we've got somewhere to house all the piping and the water pump and everything. I just need to work out where the exits are going to be, how high they are against the rubbish tray, 'cause I've got no idea of the water line of the boat. I'm a little worried about this cubicle for the toilet. It might have some quite limited foot space, so I'll have to actually have a look. I'd like to actually get a toilet and mock it all up with a real toilet in there. But yeah, I quite like this as an idea for the bathroom. Yeah. The stove I'm not sure about. The hearth's pretty big. It's a little bigger than I envisioned. Like I envisioned the stove right up to the edge of the 3 foot, coming almost to the centre of the boat. But with the hearth size, we'll have to see. But yeah, so it's nice to do these things and then so I can just think through them and have a look at them. I'm thinking about it. It is quite a big fire, but then there's quite a lot of this. This is all open plan. All of this, the kitchen worktop ends at this bit of tape. So from like here on, so far I've got all open plan for the fire to heat. And there's no wall here. This is all kitchen. The first wall is this bedroom wall here. So yeah, so the fire will be all the way down there, and this is all open plan to heat. So, and it encompasses both the hatches as fire escapes and if it gets too hot. Yeah, there's an air vent right in front of it. So that's good for the BSS as well. There's lots of ventilation into the boat, into the fire. So, I mean, maybe we'll put it on the angle, don't know yet. Some people have said, why don't I put a dinette under the hatch, which is what everybody seems to love. And it's perfect space for it. However, if I put a fire there, we can't put the back wall of a dinette here. So, but yeah, I never like the idea. Well, I do like the idea of a dinette if there's a couple of you, you know, if you want to sit and play board games or sit and have meals and stuff like that. But that's not really the kind of, I don't know, what I've got in vision for the boat. I'm thinking putting a lazy boy or something in here in front of the fire. But yeah, we'll see what happens. And now I'm just using an aqua prop to simulate, kind of have a look at where I think the chimney would be. And does that look straight to you guys? And I've got to work out the angle of the drop so I can get the right collar for the chimney. Before I start cutting holes in the roof, I need all the gear ready to put it all in. And for that I need to clean up all the fireplace. I'll get some footage of the fireplace when I get home and I'll stick it in now. And you can have a look and then tell me what you think. Okay, so this is the fire I've got. It is a Firefox 8. So it's a little big, but I've got it in quite an open space. So I've stripped it all down. It's been left to rust out ever so slightly, surface rust. So, but you know, we're used to that. So I've ordered some paint. I've got it all cleaned up. It needed a new sheet of glass. So I've got that on order with new rope. The lid's got the flame collar inside and the collar extension on the outside. It's got legs, the agitator plate, the fire baffle, and I've had a ash pan made. I've just taken the legs off it, taken the door off it, taken the glass out. So I've just ordered new rope for the door. There's new rope for the window coming with the glass. There's new rope for the lid on the way. Fire cement, some stove paint, a 6-inch chimney because it's got a 6-inch diameter chimney. But yeah, it's an absolute monster. Really jazzed with this. Give me a second, I'll put it together so you can see. So this is what she looks like. I've got some fire bricks on the way. All of this needs a tidy up. Just a little bit of surface dust just to tidy up. A little Firefox logo on it. So I've got some paint coming. It's got an agitator down here to spin these discs that I just haven't set up right now. It's got an air in just over here. And then it's got another major air control over here. But yeah, it's lovely. Really happy with that. It's got the multi-fuel plate. You can take that out and put coal on the base. So if you just pull it, and you can put coal on the bottom to build up embers if you like. So yeah, so this is the new refurb for winter. Yeah, like I said, it needs a little bit of cleaning up. Massive collar. The back is blanked off. So yeah, just needs a clean up, some new rope on the doors, on the lid. Needs the lid bolting down, but it's super heavy. And then build a what do you call it? Build a hearth for it. So yeah, that's to go in at some point. So having these things mapped out is really helping me visualize, and as I've been known to do, I've modelled with the props out of the boat. So this is representing a bulkhead. I've pushed the toilet back about a foot, just to put the toilet in sideways like that, which means that if you go with a cassette toilet, you can exit through this wall. And I've also been playing with the idea of having a two-seater dinette with a table just here behind the electrics cupboard as you come in, having the stairs offset. Then maybe like a foot deep bench, this entire wall with a radiator here, just here on the wall. But yeah, because everybody goes dinette, 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 and it gives you another space, I guess, you know, if you're starting to get cabin fevery. I mean, the idea being that, you know, you could take the table and turn the whole thing into like a single bed area. So as always, I've been, you know, just mapping it out with things that I've got, modelling it with things that I've got. So this little board represents the bulkhead at 3 foot through, so you would be able to get line of sight all the way through the boat. And just, I'd leave the door where it is and have just a little recess section here, so you can come in, so that as you come in the toilet, if the door's open, do that with a foot. So say you've come in and there's the toilet's recessed back a little bit and it gives you a bit of space in front, and you've still got window access, you know, and it just gives you a bit more space in the bathroom. That's all. So yeah. So I've got my aquaprop simulating the chimney. I've got this boom stand that I've got here that I use for the time lapses. That's replicating my shower. And then yeah, this garden chair is replicating the toilet space. So yeah. So I quite like the idea of having these little two-seater dinette here. Gives you a bit of space, gives you somewhere in the light. It's also you know, it's a reduced social area as opposed to having a big L-shaped dinette table, but then it also gives you space for the boat storage stuff like the chains, the ring, the anchor, all that stuff, you know, your high-vis, your wet weather gear. Gives you space to keep all of that stuff. I mean, at the minute it's where I'm keeping all the stuff, all the paint and everything's got kept down here, so it just feels like the natural place to keep stuff like that. So yeah, quite liking it. So, you know, the utility room is really becoming a utility room. I'm thinking if I do that, I'll move this plug socket down 2 foot, so it's right in the middle of the dinette, kind of like on a train. But it gives, you know, if anybody's staying in this room in a single berth, it gives them access to power and everything like that. And I'll have a radiator over this side as well, so it's, the room will be warmed by the central heating system. But yeah, cool. Yeah, another little quick glance at that. Yeah. Loads of fun. That it's just a short, you know, short term until we get it done properly, to test any of the components that we get in, test the wiring, make sure everything's cool, everything works before we transfer it all to, you know, more permanent housing. But yeah, quite like that. Well, it's starting to get late on the Sunday. It's starting to feel cool. It feels like the sun's on its way down. I feel like I haven't got a lot done this weekend, but I've worked out quite a bit, so I'm quite happy about that. I'm going to go and research the hearth stuff, learn about tiling, learn about silicate, carbonate silicate board and cement board, and start looking at bits and pieces for walls and making, researching showers and toilets as well, water pumps, bits and pieces like that. I quite like the idea of the two-seat, single-seater dinette just here between the electrics cupboard and the toilet. Again, we'll do fold up, fold in, so you can get like a cassette toilet cartridge out if we go that way. If not, we'll have a tank with a macerator and a pump. The tank will go along the back wall. But I'm much more confident now with this layout. I love the shape of this countertop with the doors that shut like this. Now that we've turned the toilet around and given it a bit more space, I'm really happy with that idea. The shower tray is the same size shower as there is at home, so that should be just a normal standard shower, so quite happy about that. The stove placement I have to think about a little bit more. I'll have a word with my welder buddy, see about getting a hearth built. But I quite like the idea of that as well, where it is, you know, taking up half of the boat there, having a nice straight chimney straight through, you know, nice big open space to heat it. I'm coming around to it, so we'll have to see what happens. But I think for this weekend, that's going to be it for me from North Kilworth Wharf. Not that I've got anything to do with North Kilworth Wharf, and not that I'm a professional in any way. I'm learning as I go as I do this, as you've probably worked out by now. But it's a lot of fun. But yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're all having a good time out there. But yeah, thanks everybody. Hope you're all having fun. Catch you in the next one.